Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Education regular meeting. I'd like to begin tonight with a silent prayer, and I'd like to ask Commissioner Stango to give a memorial.
Thank you, Madam President. In our moment of silence this evening, let us remember retired educator and administrator Mr. Robert Joy, who passed away on Saturday, July 23rd. Mr. Joy was a Wtby native and a lifelong Wtby resident. Mr. Joy was a teacher and administrator in the Wtby Public Schools for over 36 years. Bob taught 7th and 8th grade at Driggs School, where he also began his administrative career as serving as a vice principal. He finished his career in Wtby as the principal of Rotella School. Let us remember Mr. Joy and recognize his service and dedication to the students of Wtby this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd also ask your prayers tonight for the family of Alderman Sandra Martinez McCarthy and her husband Kevin on the loss of their daughter Johanna, who passed away in a terrible accident last week. Our prayers are with them. Commissioner Van Stone, if you'll lead us in the pledge, please.
Be honored. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Harvey?
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez?
Here.
Commissioner Pagano?
Here.
Vice President Rodriguez?
Here.
Commissioner Stango?
Here.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Here.
Commissioner Theriault?
here.
Commissioner Jason Van Stone? Commissioner Tom Van Stone?
Present.
President Brown?
Here. Thank you. Communications of August 4th, 2016. Copy of communication dated July 13th, 2016 from Civil Service certifying George Walters III for the position of Maintainer 1. Email communication dated July 14th, 2016 from Robbie Goodridge regarding minority teacher recruitment and retention performance advisory council and implementation of Rooney rules. Copy of communication dated July 15th, 2016 from Civil Service certifying Bobby Richardson for the position of Maintainer 1. Email communication dated July 26th from Robert Goodridge regarding access of information released to the superintendent's 2015-2016 evaluation. May I have a motion?
Motion to receive and place on file. Communications is read.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. We'll now have a public address to the board. May I have a motion?
Motion to suspend the regular order of business to hear from the public.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Danielle Albert, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm here tonight as president of the Gilmartin School Governance Council, and I'd like to share some thoughts about the SGC presentation that took place last week at Maloney. Commissioner Jason Van Stone asked that night what is being successful and what would members recommend. Responses regarding every other monthly meetings and appreciation for being involved and children needing discipline were given. Are those responses the real purpose of our councils? Are the responsibilities that are clearly posted on the State Department of Education and CABE websites in line with what is actually happening in our district? Our councils have been in place for 5 years. When are they going to begin to fulfill their actual purpose? I've spoken ad nauseum about getting the SGCs to interact and network with each other. There have been trainings, but even so, we were given data, charts, and graphs, not tools, suggestions, and guidance. I've personally asked to connect the 4 pre-K to 8 SGCs in some way. Interaction needs to happen more often so that we can share with each other what exactly we are doing. For almost 4 years, I've witnessed the same rhetoric: charts, data, ice cream socials, which are very good opportunities to interact. But where's the proof that the district is following protocol and the SGCs are working? Because the proof is not in the pudding. In fact, I am concerned that some of the information provided may be perceived as inconsistent. The Gilmartin SGC was listed as achieving a school safety plan. The truth is the SGC did not play any role in creating that plan. We only brought about awareness to the safety concerns that we all know about that existed at Gilmartin School. As wonderful as the safety plan is, we did not create it. And the truth is we actually had a very difficult year. There were many times that many of us parents would walk out of those meetings very frustrated. We'd throw up our hands and literally say, we're done. But month after month, the dedicated people that care about our children and our schools showed up. How did the SGCs play a part in opening the Family Engagement Center? Where is the data that shows how these councils are affecting student achievement in a positive way? And where's the proof that they help to resolve discipline issues or improve truancy and attendance? Or that they helped enhance our less than adequate test scores? Are you all confident that the councils have been given the ability to participate in the hiring of school administration? And is it really up to the state to give the go-ahead to implement councils in all of our schools, or is it up to the district? Because the truth is, while I was looking into the state SGC advisory group, I was told there are no new lists coming out, we were not waiting for testing results, and it is completely up to the district to implement these councils wherever they see fit. As a parent, I am very frustrated with the lack of progress and disappointed with the inconsistencies. If parents saw more concrete progress, it would be easier to get them interested and keep them involved. We all want to see the fruits of our labor come to fruition. Why, after 5 years, is this district still dealing with parent involvement, recruitment, and retention as its priority when we can be doing so much more? Let the councils use their power. We need consistent backup and support from administration in our schools, and all of you sitting at this table as well. It is the expectation that you as a district will stand behind your parents, teachers, and encourage this collaboration and encourage guidance to help better your councils. With the amount of support that Mrs. Merrill has and the amount of dedicated parents and individuals who make up the SGC community, this district should be a leader like Middletown and Bridgeport. I do believe success rates would be so much higher if parents were aware of the capabilities that the council has to make change, because something needs to change. Sadly, if it doesn't, you're going to be shown the same rhetoric year after year and not progress for student growth or achievement. Individuals, elected or not, should be welcome to join the meetings and listen and bring forth concerns about our councils. I invite any one of you to sit in on our meetings, and we would be happy to share any information on the tasks we have been trying to complete at Gilmartin. What's going on now is not working. We have parents, teachers, and in some cases even students who've invested so much only to see their council not live up to the job of which it was intended. If it is implemented properly, these councils will work to promote the success of all of our children, and it's your job as a board to please help make positive change happen in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Thomas Pelletier.
Good evening, Board. Thomas Pelletier, 112 Concord Street. I'm going to be very quick. On your agenda tonight, there are many schools with elevator projects and energy projects that are funded by grants. You know, as a former student who has grown up in the Wtby school system and who happens to work for the Wtby school system, it's great to see that we are finally at a time where we could see a good portion of our schools get grant money to finally become handicap efficient. It's sad to see that it took this long, but it's great to see that it finally happened. That should be a no-brainer for a vote. Also, I also wanted to thank Mr. Branker and Mr. Shannon Sullivan, who have taken over the maintenance and overseeing of the school system in part. What they were able to do with 31 Church Street in under such short time, under budget, and without any overtime, and getting it done. You know, it's nice to see that we have, you know, city carpenters, plumbers, everybody coming together. You know, when we hear so much rhetoric about things getting done over budget and everything, it's nice to see that, you know, under their collaboration that we were able to get this done in under short time. You know, it was a project that was taken, you know, as our former school inspector, John Cross, was in and happened to leave. And what they've been able to do in such short timing is commendable, and I want to thank them. Also, I wanted to mention today, being there, I was quite, I think the board should be noted on this. Today, Duggan School, the staff and kids for the last month have worked so hard. It was featured on Channel 8 tonight. I'm sure it's going to be featured on tonight again as well at the 11 o'clock news. These kids and their staff had worked so hard to make cards. You know, they raised money to get frozen pops. They called it Pops for Cops. They worked to get the Wtby Police Department together. You know, in a time when we see, you know, such division in our country, and it's great to see our youth and our staff come together and, you know, work together. You know, that's what we should all be doing in this time of crisis. You know, it got us together back in the day. It's going to get over. It's going to help us rise again. And to see these students and how happy they were today when the cop cars pulled in, they handed cards. The cops let them, you know, some of which the children got a little too overzealous, pushing the buttons for the sirens and everything. But you saw the interaction, and that's, you know, that's great to see. And you know, I was overtaken by one of the interactions with police and the children today when one of the students said, you know, my family says that, you know, we shouldn't talk to the cops, but I think you guys are great. And from a kid who's in 4th grade saying that to the cop, I saw the tears come down from the cop's eyes, and she happened to say to the officer, I think I want to be a cop. You know, that's great, and I think that the vice principal, Melissa DiGiovanni, should be commended for it. Her staff worked very hard on trying to do that, which brings me up to the next item on the agenda, 11.2. I didn't happen to know this till I read the agenda. Melissa DiGiovanni has been asked to be a part-time team district felicitator. Now, this is a woman who is a great multitasker. You know, she was a teacher at North End Middle School. She became a vice principal at North End Middle School. Now she's a vice principal at Duggan School. What she's been able to accomplish in such short time at Duggan School and all these other schools is commendable, and I would ask as a taxpayer and not only as a person who works for the schools that you would vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public who wish to speak? Hearing none. Can we have a
Motion to return to the regular order of business.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Superintendent is not with us tonight. She's on vacation, well-deserved vacation. So I just have a few comments. I think Mr. Pelletier stole a little bit of my comments, but I did want to thank everybody who participated in our very robust summer school program this year in Duggan, Gilmartin, Reed, and Carrington. I had a chance to visit all of the schools, and great things were happening, so I want to thank the staff and the students and the parents for understanding the importance of having our children participate in summer school. So we're very happy. And Pops for Cops was a success, and I'm hoping that that catches on and more of our schools do more to have this kind of positive relationship with our community and our police. Just wanted to mention that August 24th is the back-to-school rally at Library Park, so we're hoping our families and children come and celebrate the end of summer and the beginning of school. There'll be a lot of freebies and goodies, so we'll always have a great celebration, so we're hoping that parents do come. Also, the first day of school is August 29th. It's a Monday, the Monday before Labor Day, so please make sure your child comes to school ready to learn, and everything is all set. We really appreciate that. We're really have a push to make sure that our students are in school to really reduce chronic absenteeism in the district. I just want to thank everybody for the renovations at 30B Church Street. I think Mr. Pelletier again mentioned it's a great opening, the Office of Early Childhood, so parents have one-stop shopping for preschool. There's also special ed there, as well as public school preschool and the school readiness partnership. So we're very excited about that. And the opening of the Welcome Center at Chase School also took place, very busy week last Thursday. And again, parents are invited to come to the Welcome Center in the first floor of the Chase building and learn about what's going on in the district. If you have questions, we're very excited about that. That finishes my comments. I'd like to move to the consent calendar. Okay. 8.1.
It needs removed.
Oh, would anybody like to remove anything from the, I knew it should have been written down, from the consent calendar?
Yes.
Commissioner Harvey.
If we could remove 8.2 and 8.21.
8.21. Thank you. Any others?
Yeah, which is
Commissioner Theriault?
the one on energy conservation?
8.21.
8.21.
That's already been removed.
8.21.
Okay. Any other? Okay, I'll read the remaining consent calendar. 8.1, request approval of a memorandum of understanding, program acknowledgement with Connecticut Military Department for Starbase Connecticut for academic year 2016-2017. 8.3, request approval of the acceptance of the Wallace Middle School Media Center project, state project number 151-0285 as complete. 8.4, request approval of the acceptance of the Carrington Elementary School project, state project number 151-0275 as complete. 8.5, request approval to file an application, EDO 49, for the proposed Chase School elevator project. 8.6, request approval of the preparation of schematic drawings and outline specifications for the proposed Chase School elevator project. 8.7, request approval of the formation of a building committee for the proposed Chase School elevator project. 8.8, request approval of the educational specifications for the proposed Chase School elevator project. 8.9, request approval to file a grant application, EDO 49, for the proposed Hopeville School elevator project. 8.10, request approval of the preparation of schematic drawings and outline specifications for the proposed Hopeville School elevator project. 8.11, request approval of the formation of a building committee for the proposed Hopeville School elevator project. 8.12, request approval of the educational specifications for the proposed Hopeville School elevator project. 8.13, request approval to file a grant application, EDO 49, for the proposed Kingsbury School elevator project. 8.14, request approval of the preparation of schematic drawings and outline specifications for the proposed Kingsbury School elevator project. 8.15, request approval of the formation of a building committee for the proposed Kingsbury School elevator project. 8.16, request approval of the education specifications for the proposed Kingsbury School elevator project. 8.17, request approval to file a grant application, EDO 49, for the proposed Sprague School elevator project. 8.18, request approval of the preparation of schematic drawings and outline specifications for the proposed Sprague School elevator project. And 8.19, request approval of the formation of a building committee for the proposed Sprague School elevator project. 8.20, request approval of the education specifications for the proposed Sprague School elevator project. 8.22, Committee on School Facilities and Grounds, use of school facilities by school organizations and/or city departments. 8.23, Committee on School Facilities and Grounds, use of school facilities by outside organizations and/or waiver request. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the consent calendar is read.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Should we do the ones that are off? Yes. Okay. 8.2, Committee on School Personnel. Request approval of the new position of grant specialist for the Competitive Grants Office, replacing the former position of office manager. Do I have a motion? Commissioner Stango. No, I'm doing the ones that were off.
Okay.
Yeah, you still have, okay.
You
I'm sorry,
already
go
read
ahead.
it. That's all right. Okay. Committee on School Personnel request approval of the new position of grant specialist for the Competitive Grants Office, replacing the former position of office manager.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Harvey.
Yes, I just wanted to, again, repeat pretty much that I am in favor of this position. It is a grant-funded position, but I would hope that this would produce more grants for the district, this position, and particularly grants as it relates to parents. I think there's a number of grants that are out there for our parents, and I would just hope that this position will facilitate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Committee on School Facilities and Grounds, 8.21.
The
Commissioner Theriault.
Committee on School Facilities and Grounds request approval of an energy savings performance contract with NESCO LLC for energy efficient building upgrades as funded by the city, $30 million capital appropriations and bond authorization.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Harvey.
Okay. I'll be brief. I applaud this project, but I must say that I was very surprised, as some of the other commissioners have mentioned, very surprised to see that our newer schools, the efficiency of some of the systems that we're running could be more efficient, and I was very surprised at that. So I hope that we are looking at that because we spend a lot of money on these schools, and we were told that the equipment would be efficient, and we find that no, it could run a little bit more efficiently. So I would just hope that we could do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Theriault.
I would echo Commissioner Harvey's remarks. To see buildings like Hopeville and Washington, some of our old structures operating more efficiently than this magnificent edifice seems incongeniable to me. State-of-the-art boiler system, state-of-the-art chillers, state-of-the-art building. This foyer is so big you could almost fit one of our elementary schools into it. Great structure, fantastic. I'm not entirely convinced. I know they have engineers and mathematicians and scientists and everything else, and accountants, cha-ching, working on this thing. And they say that it's a no-brainer that they're going to come in here and they're going to put all these energy efficient things into our buildings. And let's face it, folks, 95% of the stuff that they're putting in here is for our buildings. Not if it's for other city buildings too. But we're on the winning end of it. but I listened to the presentation. I'm not entirely convinced that this thing is going to pay for itself. I'm not entirely convinced. These guys are a lot smarter than me. You know, I was an engineer for Pratt & Whitney too, but I was working on jet engines, not on electricity. But I'm not entirely convinced that spending $30 million after you bond the $30 million and you pay the expenses of $30 million. Now, $30 million bonded, you know, by the time you end up paying the interest of that, that's going to be a sizable amount of money. I don't know just exactly how much it would be. Maybe it would be 45, 50, maybe more with the interest. I see things in our building going down, you know, like they talk about chillers and things like that. I see those chillers going down every 5 years. You go to turn on the air conditioning and boom, chiller's not working, got to get another chiller. I would have liked to have seen some study done on some of the relatively newer buildings, like our complexes, how often those chillers go down and how often they're replaced, and other significant maintenance items that break down, furnaces, boilers, and so forth, how often they break down. I know I'm on this committee that is recommending this, but I'll vote my individual conscience. I did notice that the Board of Aldermen did vote for this, and as I said in the beginning of my remarks, 98% of this, 99% of it is going to be to the benefit of us. But I don't know how it's all going to play out in the end, you know. I know there's a guarantee. Oh, we guarantee you. We guarantee you. You know, it's like buying a car, you know. Oh, we guarantee you. And then all of a sudden the brakes or the drums go, oh, you didn't read the fine print. That wasn't in there. So I hope everybody's read the fine print, and I hope this is a good deal, but I'm not going to vote for it because I just think there's a lot of slick talk going on here, a lot of very quick, slick talking going on, and these guys are real smart, scientists, mathematicians, accountants, as I said before. They got it all figured out. Great presentation, but they didn't convince me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. All those in favor?
Roll call vote, please.
Yes, okay. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Harvey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez?
Yes.
Commissioner Pagano?
Yes.
Vice President Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Stango?
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Yes.
Commissioner Theriault?
No.
Commissioner Tom Van Stone?
Yes.
President Brown?
Yes.
8-1 motion passes.
8-1 motion passes. Thank you. Number 10, Commissioner Stango.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, with the approval of the Committee on School Personnel, the Superintendent of Schools recommends the approval of the lateral transfer request of Talisha Foy from the Supervising Vice Principal of Wilson School to the Supervising Vice Principal of Gilmartin School, effective immediately. Respectfully submitted and so moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you. Commissioner Stango.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the approval of the Committee on School Personnel, the Superintendent of Schools recommends approval of the budgeted 3% wage increase effective July 1st, 2016 for the non-union management position of the Chief Academic Officer. Respectfully submitted and so moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Van Stone.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm typically very cautious on how we spend state money coming our way on wages. This is not a operations cost for us. This is a cost that comes out of our state money. However, this time I think I'll take a little different path. The person we have in this position has made some great changes He has brought a team together, which are two words that are very special to people, especially in sports. When a team is together, things work out. Do we have a long road to go? Yes, we do. However, in this case, I will be in favor of using this state money for this increase. I think we have a young person who, and I hate when we talk about they can go somewhere else, because whether we offer them $1 million, they could still go somewhere else. But in this case, I think we need to do what is right by this person and keep him as ours. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Harvey.
Thank you. If my memory serves correctly, and I could get in trouble for even saying that, but my memory serves correctly, when we proposed this on the motion, I thought that we would mention, thank you, Commissioner Van Stone, that we would mention where the increase is coming from. Is it coming from a Lions grant? Is it coming from, where exactly? So I was surprised that we didn't have that. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I also thought that when we say the 3%, I thought we mentioned the amount that would entail.
3.5.
It's 3.5, but what's the dollar figure? So again, if my memory serves me correctly, I thought that always we would say where that funding is coming from. Where is it? Is it coming from Alliance? Is it coming from this? Is it coming from that? We didn't have that in the proposal, in the motion. So I'm just questioning that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I will ask Commissioner, I think we'll look into that for the next time.
Can we please, because I thought that that's, we wanted kind of full disclosure on where these funds, where they're being applied to. So if we can look into that.
I
Thank you.
believe Commissioner Van Stone said the SIC is from the Alliance grants, correct? Okay. But we'll
Thank
find
you.
out about that. Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Abstain? Okay, motion carries 1-8. Thank you. Superintendent's notification to the board. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to receive and place on file superintendent's notification is listed.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, down to number 12, unfinished business of preceding meeting only. Do I? Okay. Number 13, other unfinished new and miscellaneous business. Commissioner Harvey?
Okay. Thank you.
Got quite a few, okay.
I just wanted to, I couldn't mention this at our special meeting a few weeks ago, but we had a community meeting in July with the ministers of the community, black ministers, and the police department, and it was held at the Mount Olive AME Zion Church. The mayor had on his program said Zion Baptist, and these are two significant buildings on Pearl Street. One is Mount Olive AME Zion Church, which happens to be my church, and one is Zion Baptist Church. So this particular affair was held at the Mount Olive AME Zion Church on Pearl Street. This was prompted by incidences that occurred in Minnesota, Louisiana, and then Texas. I applaud our community clergy for holding this meeting, and the police department, Chief Vernon Riddick. I think it was definitely necessary. We are fortunate enough here in Waterbury, we have a pretty good relationship with the police department in the community. but we are one incident away from something happening here in Waterbury. So it's good to have this communication and keep it open. My concern here is that we should, in the education department, I think there needs to be a discussion with our young adults, those who are in middle school, those who are in high school, particularly for, if you read The Observer, yes, I'm giving them a free ad here, it's entitled The Traffic Stop. We have a lot of our kids who are learning to drive. And I am fortunate enough to, I'll talk with some of them at various points, and this issue of compliance, there were some questions about that, because the questions, even amongst the adults, raised was, what about your rights? So I would hope that, I know we have programs, I know there was something mentioned about in the 5th grade, we have the police come in and talk to our 5th graders, and also maybe some of our middle school, other middle school students. But I think there's a need for us to be proactive, to get ahead of this thing and have discussions with our police. Chief Reddick does a great job. And these little smaller groups of discussions with our children, with our students, on what to do and to improve community relations. It's nice to, that event at Duggan, that was great. It's nice that we have these appreciation, show the police the appreciation, but there still needs to be ongoing discussion beyond the appreciations and the popsicles and all that, to have a heart-to-heart discussion on what the police do and how and what they should do, the students, if they are pulled over when they are driving, or whatever the relationship is with the police. I think we need to keep those relationships, the positive relationships, going. So I only ask that we look into that and have that discussion as soon as possible in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair Brown. I just want to acknowledge, it's been a long time since I've been around the table. It does feel good to be around folks and be back. But I just want to acknowledge once again, and I'm sure it was mentioned previously, but those who were, and give a special thanks to the commissioners who did attend last Friday, Adela's Puerto Rican for the Mayor Day flag raising ceremony. I thought it was a phenomenal event. We had the team from Puerto Rico there, a ton of dignitaries, and many commissioners here that attended, and again, it's greatly appreciated. I just want to sort of piggyback off of what Commissioner Harvey had noted, and I'm glad you said that, Commissioner Harvey, because I actually had a conversation recently with the Center of Children's Advocacy. I've been very fortunate to facilitate and be a trainer at what they call the Cross Action Network. And what we've done is we've partnered with local police departments in Middletown, Hartford, and Bridgeport, where we have the youth have dialogue with the police officers and talk about those challenges and those myths, and sort of build better relationships. And so our goal is to have it in October, because they need like a 5 to 6 week sort of time frame. And once we secure location time, we'll invite you definitely so you can be a part of that discussion. I did tell President Brown that we were in the planning process, so I look forward to that, and I think that's a great suggestion and something that I think is very important for this district. So I'll be working on that piece and would love to include you in that as well. Thank you. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Commissioner Van Stom.
Thank you, Madam President, through you. I would like to call on you, Madam President, to establish a subcommittee to review the evaluation process of the superintendent. I am certainly a very big fan of Dr. Ouellette. She has my 100% support. However, the recent evaluation and how we went through it was fine, We had great discussion. But quite honestly, a person in a management position and seeing some of the things we have that we still need to correct in this city for education, to have a 100% exceeds expectation review for an employee, as I mentioned to many of you when we talked about it, just doesn't do us all justice. And I'll point to this as far as the entire Board of Education, especially as a past member of the Grievance Committee, that when we do look at, not that there's any grievances that I'm hearing for the superintendent, I don't mean to suggest that, we look at and we try to make a determination of how to do some disciplinary action, which many employees need at different times. And we look at the review process, and every single employee seems to be a star employee. So it completely contradicts what we're trying to sit at the table and discuss. But back to the superintendent, I think we need to move away from anything we receive from CABE when it comes to an evaluation process, look at the many management tools that are out there to look at a chief executive type review and make a lot of changes. Because quite honestly, it just, the way it came out just does not talk to any way an executive review could come out exceed expectations. Because if that were the case, we would be leading the state in every single score that comes out. We would have no disciplinary problems. Our teachers would be flocking to stay, and other teachers would be flocking to come. And we certainly know that's not the case. So once again, I give my superintendent 100% of my support. However, we really need to reevaluate how we review her work over the past year, because I cannot in any way support the results that did come out as we distributed them. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Commissioner Pagano.
I also agree with what Commissioner Van Stone has just memorialized. And I also want to bring up one option that I saw as a new member of this board. I thought the questions were more leaning towards an employee relationship with the superintendent from when I looked at the questions. And I would just encourage us to think differently from a board relationship with the superintendent and come up with verbiage that's more conducive to that sort of an arrangement rather than the employer way of some of the questions were just more so for people who work directly for her rather than the other way around. That's all.
Okay. Any other comments? Commissioner Theriault.
Not on this topic. As I constantly do, looking at data and examining it, I did notice that the average number of absences in our high schools were inadvertently high. And they actually have been high for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years or more. I don't know how I didn't pick this up before. I was so interested in the data and so forth in terms of the decreases and increases percentage-wise. I kind of failed to, and I overlooked the average absence per student, which dovetails on the story that was in the Wtby Republican American today with regard to the test scores. My mother always said, if you're not there, you can't learn. Well, I was there, or else. But I see, I won't bore you with all these details, you know, because people's eyes tend to glass over if I give them too much data, including mine. But in 2016, Crosby had an average of 20 absences per student. So regardless of the population that you have, we're averaging the overall absences of 23,645 by the population of 1,201 and coming up with 20 absences per student. Kennedy had 19. Wtby had 21 absences per student. Now, if you go down these 15 sheets of paper that I have accumulated and kept data on for the past 10 years, you will see that the average absences in the middle school is about 10. The average absences in the elementary school is about 8 to 10. I won't even go into the absences in the special ed department at State Street and the Enlightenment program, which are exorbitant. And maybe there are legitimate reasons for those absences. But there are no legitimate absences or reasons that I can conjure up to have a student absent for 20 days, 21 days, 19 days in our high schools. We saw the scores in the math portion of the exam at Crosby and Wtby last year as being 2 and 3%, meaning 97 to 98% of the kids didn't reach the target level objectives in math. Now we see the scores today on the SATs. I forgot what the score in English was, but it was low. But I remember the score in math, 9%, 8% around there. I mean, this is really, we really need to address this, folks. We cannot have our students in the high school accumulating twice as many absences as the kids in the grammar school or the kids in our middle schools. And we need to be proactive, as people have said. We need to be proactive, and we need to get to these kids right away, get to their parents right away, through social workers, through home visits, and make these kids come to school. Because the option is dropping out, and that is no option. So I say this for the good of the order, not to chastise us, but to help us to gather the torch and go in and fight the battle, because this is a battle. If they're not there, they can't learn. They have to be there. And it brings me to the other question. If we have 20 students absent per 20 absences per student, how many of these students in the senior year are we pushing on or exonerating their tremendous absences? I hope we're going by the book and we're doing it all by the book, because to do otherwise would be foolish, because you don't do anybody any favors. They have an appeal, 2 appeals in the grammar school regarding their absences. They have 1 at the middle school, and they have 1 at the high school. Hope we're not always using that appeal in that very last year. And I'm almost certainly we're not. I mean, it's hard for me. I used to be able to get the absences and look at the names and actually look at the graduation sheets and see whether or not this kid that's on the graduation program that got his diploma, I could go back and I could look up how many absences he had. But it seems central office won't allow that anymore, for various reasons, I'm sure. So, in closing, let me say we need to do a better job on attendance. We have a lot of procedures and protocols in place. We need to make sure they're established, and if we have to, we need to develop new and proactive procedures and protocols to stop this high absenteeism in the high school level. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Thank you all for your thoughtful comments, and on all of those issues, I think they're very important, and definitely we'll move on all of them. Thank you. Could I please have a motion to go?
Motion to add an executive session.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to convene an executive session for discussion concerning the appointment, employment, performance evaluation, health, or dismissal of a public officer or employee.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. We'll go into executive session.